Okay now? Yeah.
All right, Barrister, good morning to you. How are you doing today?
I'm very fine, and you?
Very well, thank you. Barrister, I love the fact that you actually, joined on time. We're talking about the NDC's situation here. We all saw what happened yesterday, and thank God that you are here so that you can actually, give us some clarity when it comes to the legal, standings. Now, sometime last year, around between 10th or 15th of December, the court in Lokoja actually compelled the INEC to register NDC and upload them on their portal. I believe we're all aware about this particular situation. And the same court now, doctor, is coming back to say that we're actually revisiting it and we're, scrapping it off and telling INEC, of course, once the court is actually told INEC to register and now say that you're the registry, that particular judgment has been, wiped off. That means that's what you're telling INEC indirectly. So INEC was meant to remove you from, their portal. Barrister, this is your profession. And to an extent, I know you have, guidelines that, governs the judicial system in this nation. And I've never heard where a court would actually give a judgment on a particular case and later come back to that judgment and say that, oh, they are revisiting it. Except maybe when there is, it's about fraud, deceit, criminal, basically these are what we, the lettered and not learned knows about. And I think you have something you call, is it a funtio, a Christian, whatever, meaning that the case is done or something. You have that particular thing. So, Barrister, where does this leave us? Where the same court would, be contradicting itself in the name of judgment or review? Please, I'd like to give clarity.
Thank you very much. I think, like they say in local balance, Nigeria has happened to our judiciary. Nigeria is happening to our judiciary. Because like you rightly pointed out, once the court gives a judgment in a case, it becomes a funcus officio. It removes itself from that matter. Any of the other parties who are worried about the judgment can go on appeal. If it's from the Federal High Court, then you go to the Court of Appeal. It's from the Court of Appeal, then you go to the Supreme Court, and that is where it all ends. It is unheard of for a court to just by itself, by emotion, not even by appeal, revisit a matter it has already adjudicated upon, and has seen that reality has moved from there. Because the particular judge in question cannot say he's blind to reality in Nigeria. If you look at the sign of justice, it should have like impartiality, that is, its eyes are covered and it's the soul. But in this instance, this particular justice is proving that part of its eyes are open, because this is a purely political decision. It has nothing to do with justice. The issue of even locus, which is a primary issue before you even approach the courts, you must have a locus standard. In this instance, I understand that the party that moved for this the so-called deregistration is not even a registered political party. It's not even a registered association. It's not an association that is even known to law. So under what locus did it do? That is one. Then, what you will observe when this kind of things happen is this. The judge will most likely have been guaranteed of his retirement. Because if there was the NJC, the Nigerian Judicial Council, National Judicial Council, immediately there will be sanctions for this kind of judicial rascality. Because that is basically what this is, judicial rascality. A court knows what it should not do, and it knows that what it's doing is actually trying to set the country ablaze. But then I think the better way of addressing this kind of judgment is what the political sphere has actually done. Virtually move on as if that judgment never existed. Am I still on?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Barrister.
Yes. Virtually move on as if that judgment never took place. Because it is becoming a shame for some of us who have spent the greater part of our lives in this profession, 35 years plus in practice. You begin to wonder, is this what you got involved with? Is this the profession that one aspire to and belong to? That is why nowadays, when you go see young people coming into the legal profession with this kind of scenario, you wonder, Why is this so? What is their motivation? But this particular judgment is a clear instance of Nigeria happening to the judicial sector. And have you ever wondered why it only happens to opposition parties? When matters are filed against the ruling APC, these matters are not even listed. Nobody gets to hear about it. It dies in the registry. But at the slightest instance, if it's a matter against the PDP, the ADC, or now the NDC, you hear the courts hearing them, even no matter how frivolous, no matter how ridiculous those matters are. Because like taking it up as a daily affair, and then they try to scuttle the entire judicial process. But let this be a warning to the ruling APC, because the game, the pranks it is playing, it is known to everybody. It's trying to play a situation whereby it becomes the only party. Of course, it shows that there are about 18 parties in Nigeria and all that stuff. But we know that many of these other parties are briefcase political parties. That they don't contest elections, they don't do anything. They're only there to present a presidential candidate so that they'll say, okay, we now endorse the president of the ruling party. But Nigerians are very aware of these antics. And what this judicial process is actually, what this judicial injustice process is actually leading Nigeria into, it's like a coup against the constitution. A coup is not only when soldiers take guns and move into the streets. Coups can be affected when unjust decisions are made to scuttle the democratic process. Because any person who does acts that are geared towards upturning the democratic process has done a coup against the constitution. So some of these judgments tantamount to a coup and should be addressed as such if we had a proper system in place. But we don't. Now, who will you put? Who should be the one that will take care of this process? The NJC. Sadly enough, the NJC is headed by a judge, the chief justice of the country, who has not been seen as even upright. So the entire system is compromised. Who will enforce these laws? It's the same police force that this same Mr. Bola Tinubu appointed the IG. Who will investigate this security aspect of this? It's the same DG that Mr. Bola Tinubu appointed as DG of DSS. So to Mr. Bola Tinubu, it appears as if he has covered the whole polity. It appears as if he's fully in charge. But there's always the X factor. That's what Nigerians must let these characters who are really not know. There will be the X factor, and their Machiavellian plan must not be allowed to see the light of day. Nigerians must have an opportunity to elect their leaders. These elections we've been seeing so far, even in the last elections, the position of the chairman of INEC, who is an APC member, or who has shown inclination for the APC, all these schemes, all these scams appear to Mr. Tinubu as if he is now a foolproof. He has been sworn into office, but he should be aware that there is an X factor, and I just will count on that X factor to ensure that justice is done in this case. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Barrister, for that particular opinion.